I actually haven't streamed in a while, have I? Or I don't know how long it's been. Hey Colin, or I don't know how long it's been. Hey, shut up, me from the past. You know what time it is. It's TikTok time! Fish TikTok time. I don't know why I'm so white today. I know that it's like a white background. Like, see, I'm less white if I do this, but when I put this full screen, I become whiter. I'm very white today. Oh well, you'll just have to get over it. I swear I've been getting tan. I've been working outside. You can't even see it because it's here. Wait, minimize this. I have been getting tan because I work outside every day because I'm working full time now doing field work. So I have been getting tanner, but it doesn't look like it right now. I understand. But anyways, it's time to look at some TikToks. We've got a mixture of TikToks, YouTube shorts, and then we've got a YouTube video about how the Roman Empire and the fall of the Roman Empire affected trout populations. I don't really fully understand. I just briefly looked at it and went, this isn't long enough for a video, but we'll throw it into a TikTok time, because why not?
A barracuda at my local pet store.
Just in an open... Please keep warning. Please keep hands out of the shark pond. Sure, that's not a shark. That's a barracuda. Sir, you can't just put that in an open pond at a fish store. It's got to be a pretty dope fish store to have something like that. I'll give them that. But also, what are you doing? Pretty cool shark. Barracudas are basically just fast sharks if you think about it, with different teeth. This is just a bad idea. I don't really have another, like, I don't have like a gotcha line of like, oh my god, they said shark so people will take it seriously. I feel like barracuda is just as, like, in most people's mind, just as like threatening of a word as shark. Am I crazy? I feel like barracuda also evokes fear, but then again, maybe most people don't know what a barracuda is. Anyways, bad idea. Don't do that.
I saw a stingray, but nobody expected it to do this.
Oh my god, that is so cool!
Stingray breach.
The stingray must have heard her and just wanted to show her something even cooler.
Nope, not really. Was probably either chasing food or actually I don't even know what the proper behavior, like what is the proper explanation for stingray breaches. I actually don't know the explanation. For a lot of fish, it's because they're hunting fish from below, things that are on the surface, and so they swim really fast to get into that group, and that leads to them jumping out. Some use it for communication, and then there are some animals that kind of just do it for fun. It's not really known, if I remember correct, might be for fun. Okay, there you go. I mean, stingray are fairly intelligent, so I would not put it past them to have a little bit of fun jumping out of the water. That is very clear water, that's true.
Hey guys, I'm in the Florida Everglades and I'm calling up the swamp puppies.
Okay.
This one really wants to taste my feet. Look at him. He is so ready to eat me. Good thing he's just a little one. I'm out here looking for the 20-foot Burmese python and I found this big swamp puppy sleeping.
Okay, is it weird that I'm more freaked out by the shitload of diving beetles than I am by the alligators? There's so many diving beetles. They creep me out so much. I don't know why. I see them everywhere at nighttime in like still water.
But he wasn't budging.
Why are you doing that?
All of his friends were awake though. Check this out.
Oh
They
my
were everywhere.
This reminds me when I was in Florida recording AVNJ's Adventures videos. I had like my headlamp and everything like that, and I was exploring, and for like 3 days in Florida I went around and I would go to, you know, little ponds, I would go to streams, I would go fish, and, you know, I did it at daytime and at nighttime and everything and catch tons of fish, and I didn't see an alligator my entire time, and I was like, wow, maybe they're just like not around this area, or like I don't know what the deal is exactly, but I started to become complacent and not think about the fact that they're around. And then I went to a particular pond at like one time at night and spread my headlight on it, and it looked exactly like this. Just like 50 of them lined up, just chilling, where you see all of the eyes looking back at you. It's a literal jump scare.
Poggers!
Thank you, Vanadium.
Nothing new. You gotta watch your step. There's venomous cottonmouths everywhere. Check out this panther chameleon.
Chameleon?
This is a big boy. Yoink.
Okay. Don't do
We
that.
ended up catching 5 of them.
Okay.
Of these rare and valuable lizards. Leopard frog, yoink.
We have those in New Jersey.
You definitely don't want to step on one of these dusty pygmy rattlesnakes.
And why are you chasing it with
This
a light?
basilisk is giving me a kiss. Check out this huge green water snake, yoink.
Okay, that's the least threatening thing he has grabbed so far. I'm actually more scared of the chameleon than I am of rattlesnakes.
He ended
Or,
up
I
giving
mean
me
water snakes, not rattlesnakes. You should be scared of rattlesnakes.
a kiss too. Check this out. Right on the knuckles. Little tropical orb weaver. Boop.
I feel like this guy has my vibes. This is me if I had no regard for my life. The next AVNJ's adventures would be like this. Grabbing crocodiles, picking up snakes and shit. I usually record everything from a distance. I'm like, this is this species, this is this species, this is what we're looking at. Homie's just invincible and doesn't give a shit. It is just grabbing everything. Literally me if I was not afraid for my life, I guess. So this is the one that got posted in my Discord, and I don't know what to do with this information, but I felt like we should watch it in a TikTok time because it's a little ridiculous. It is, how did the fall of Rome affect trout populations? Now I have to think about this. There were trout in Rome. Let me not be stupid here. Water, I think rainbow, brown, aren't most trout native to North America? Does Europe have native trout? I don't know anything about Europe. They must have native trout, right? Probably stuff that was sea run at one point. They have native trout? I don't know. Someone from Europe will have to tell me. I know they have invasive trout, plenty of those. I just don't know if they have native ones. Anyways, they do have native trout. Okay. So let's see how the Roman Empire affected trout populations.
When exploring the vast maps of Europe on the
Jesus
internet...
Christ, it's this guy. Wait, how did I not recognize? Oh, DocuDub. I don't recognize that name, but I know this voice. This guy's voice is the meme and everything.
It is inevitable that one will see a curious overlap between the locations of trout populations and the full extent of the Roman Empire. Coupling this with the vast intricate water networks of aqueducts constructed by the Romans to connect various springs, lakes and streams to urbanized areas, we begin to see the truth about the marvels of Roman engineering.
Wait, were aqueducts deep enough for... I mean, I suppose trout don't really give a shit. They'll climb through anything, but like, was it possible for fish to move through aqueducts? I don't think I ever thought about that. I always thought about them as ways of moving water, not as... This guy's fucked, by the way. What is this dude doing? What is this dude doing? You are so high up to be just holding on to nothing like that.
That aqueducts were not constructed to supply various Roman cities with water for drinking and bathing, a simple lie pushed by modern historians, but rather to create a highly efficient
water. What the fuck are those? Is this edited? What is this? It looks like a brown trout, but the spots are like neon red. Sounds like every British Family Guy character. He does. Why are the spots neon red? This one looks more normal. Are these edited? Oh, I don't know. It goes all the way into the background here. It's kind of convincing if it is edited. Lava fish.
What a superhighway for migratory trout populations, combining the modern-day equivalent of a subway system with a salmon tube. To the Romans, nothing was more noble than retiring to the countryside to fish and farm the humble trout after finishing their various pillaging extravaganzas across the Mediterranean. With these trout aqueduct metro networks, trout populations were able to flourish, growing exponentially as they now had access to...
Is any of this true? But year 0, 1, 2, 3, like these numbers, number of trout. You think the Europeans were keeping this close track? The Romans were keeping this close track of the amount of trout? And what is this? Is this literally the year 0? Is this Jesus? Is it Jesus dying or being born? I don't know. One of the two.
Never before or again in human history could trout so quickly and so easily travel. If a trout living on the east side of Rome wanted to take his family to Lake Bracciano for the weekend, all he would have to do is take the Aqua Virgo to the Tiber River connector and then merge onto the Aqua Orsitiana before hopping
Okay, this is all assuming that they can actually move through aqueducts, which, if true, is actually really interesting that they can move through aqueducts. But I'm going to take a wild guess and say that the Romans weren't that stupid that they allowed fish to freely move through their drinking water. I think that's a modern study. Well, I don't know that it's used for this. I don't know. it's very hard to find the line of satire because the voice instantly makes me prepared for everything he says to be fake, but some of the information seems worthwhile.
As the Roman Empire began to crumble, whenever you personally believe that the Roman Empire was beginning to crumble, many of their aqueducts were destroyed by the barbarically anti-trout Ostrogoths.
Aqueducts use gravity to move water and end in either wells or cisterns, so fish couldn't really swim it two ways. I mean, fish can swim against gravity just fine. They're pretty good at that. But if the end of if it goes from cistern/well to a lake, that makes it a little bit difficult, yes, because they're not moving between things. But if that map that he put up is real, I mean, it seems like they can theoretically move between lakes.
This would serve to isolate many trout populations and disrupt their migratory patterns, leading to a general decline in the trout populations as the
trout wouldn't migrate through the aqueducts anyways, right? So the aqueducts disappearing, it stops them from spreading and creates isolated populations, but that shouldn't affect their migration. Dams would affect their migration.
Of the Romans and the desirable freshwater fish were closely linked. Historians and ichthyologists often romanticize the early Roman Empire as the greatest marvel of aquatic engineering of the ancient world, but I am more skeptical of this interpretation as their primary sources on this subject are a little fishy.
Jesus Christ. I wonder, taking aside the jokingness of this video, I wonder what the result would be if we connected every single waterway. Let's say just in the United States, every single waterway is now connected. Fish can move from California to New Jersey completely, easily, without having to go through any difficulty. I think the main conclusion is probably like brown trout, bass, and sunfish would rule the world. Most threatened species, actually, in fact, almost all, I think, threatened species would go extinct because they no longer have their own little niche to fill. I'm trying, most shiners, I guess shiners would still have a place. Yeah, I think carp would definitely take over. Bass would take over. Anything invasive, trout would take over. But also, everything endangered would be bad. And that's sort of what is happening in a way. Like the homogenizing of ecosystems. Actually a real thing. You create a single region like a freshwater ocean. See, oceans have pretty good diversity, but not like freshwater. Oceans make up the majority of water on Earth by a lot, and yet still the freshwater fish species to ocean fish species is like a 50-50. So.